Has she ever done anything?
Nothing.
Like
Never. She's never left tannery property. She knows where she's can and cannot be here. She was, in the courtyard where she was supposed to be. She came over here, and that was the last we saw of her on.
On July 26, 2015, at 6:08 p.m., a distressing 911 call was received from a resident of a Santa Cruz apartment complex in California. The caller's name was Laura Jordan. Her words were simple, yet filled with dread. Her 8-year-old daughter, Madyson Middleton, was missing.
Good afternoon. We're glad you've joined us. We'll begin with the latest on the search for a missing 8-year-old Santa Cruz girl.
At a news conference earlier this morning, Santa Cruz police say they've expanded their 4.5 square mile search area for the missing 8-year-old girl and have called in the FBI, who have additional resources to help. Search crews in orange jackets are fanning out through a large area of Santa Cruz, hoping to find any sign of Madyson Middleton.
The young girl had last been seen around the complex just after 5 p.m. So, what would really happen to that little girl? Let's find out. Santa Cruz is a coastal city in California that exudes a laid-back vibe and natural beauty. It's located between the Santa Cruz Mountains and the Pacific Ocean. The city's population is around 62,000, fostering a tight-knit community that values sustainability and creativity. The city also boasts redwood-filled parks, ideal for hiking and picnics. Art galleries, boutiques, and diverse cuisine add charm to its lively downtown. Whether you're a surfer, nature enthusiast, or culture lover, Santa Cruz promises an unforgettable California experience. And here, our story begins. Madyson Jordan Middleton, fondly known as Maddy, came into this world on October 5, 2006 in Santa Cruz County, California, USA. Her parents, Laura Jordan and Mike Middleton, raised her in the Tannery Arts Center apartment complex. Maddy's childhood was filled with joy. She found happiness in swimming, dancing, her passion for wolves, talking, and art. Her sense of humor was truly remarkable. "We called her Chatty Maddy," said Dan Middleton, Maddy's paternal grandfather. Maddy's friendly nature allowed her to make friends with everyone in the complex. Life was sailing smoothly, full of happiness, until an unforeseen tragedy struck. On Sunday, July 26, 2015, her mother Laura was playing a board game with a friend that came over. Maddy was waiting for them to finish, but then decided to put to good use a recently received gift, a white scooter. Dressed in a purple dress and sporting a black bicycle helmet, she rode the scooter around the courtyard. Throughout the afternoon, until the sun began to set at 4 o'clock, several neighbors caught glimpses of Maddy in the courtyard. Even after that, she was spotted a few more times riding around. Occasionally, she paused to chat with some of the other children, but she was also content being on her own. She had a lot of freedom to play where she felt comfortable, Laura said of her daughter. At around 5:07 p.m., the last known sighting of Maddy occurred near the mailboxes outside the ground floor parking garage. This was captured on video surveillance. Tragically, this became the final time anyone laid eyes on her. After this moment, Maddy inexplicably vanished. As the evening set in, Laura, Maddy's mother, started a desperate door-to-door search within the complex, but no one had any information about Maddy's whereabouts. Laura's concern grew even more as she couldn't find any trace of her daughter. She knew that Maddy was a confident child, but not one to wander off alone or engage with strangers. Feeling the urgency of the situation, Laura decided to involve the police, and at 6:08 p.m., she promptly made a 911 call to report Maddy missing. As the distress call reached the Santa Cruz Police Department, officers immediately responded to the situation. They flooded the Tannery Arts Center apartment complex and commenced their search for Maddy. They also circulated photos of the missing girl. The community soon rallied together with hundreds of volunteers, including friends, family, and even homeless Santa Cruzans, all joining forces to comb through the surrounding neighborhood.
This wonderful kid, we would have heard her. I don't get this. Nobody gets this. We would have heard. She was just right here.
All feeling a little helpless at this point. We've been checked all the tents and homeless camps. A lot of us have been up all night. We've gone as far as Paradise Park.
From the river to the beach and the mountains that bordered the city, everyone was determined to find Maddy. Realizing the urgency, the Sheriff's Office Search and Rescue Team was called in that same evening to lend their expertise. Additionally, a specially trained search and rescue K-9 unit from the State Office of Emergency Services joined the effort. Throughout the late hours of Sunday, the Santa Cruz Police Department, along with allied agencies, remained on alert. Detectives followed up on every lead, leaving no stone unturned. Despite their exhaustive search, no significant breakthroughs were made. Given the seriousness of the situation, the Santa Cruz Police Department also reached out to the FBI for additional assistance. In a matter of hours, the FBI responded by deploying a team of agents and resources to support the search for Maddy. The combined efforts of local law enforcement and federal agents intensified, all with the hope of finding Maddy and reuniting her with her family. On Monday, July 27, 2015, the Santa Cruz Police Department, FBI personnel, and search and rescue teams from Santa Cruz County and nearby counties continued their search efforts. Approximately 50 FBI agents conducted a thorough door-to-door search within the tannery complex, while Santa Cruz detectives meticulously checked trash cans and requested residents to open their vehicles in the tannery parking garages. By 11 a.m. that morning, the Santa Cruz police officially classified Maddy's disappearance as a missing person case.
We're not calling this a kidnapping. We're still early on in our investigation. Where we're calling it this is we're looking for a lost child.
Approaching the 24-hour mark since she went missing, the police decided to shift their focus back to the apartment complex itself. And so, a more comprehensive and intensive search of the buildings commenced. At 7:55 p.m. on July 27th, their search came to an end when Maddy's lifeless body was discovered in a bag inside a recycling bin located in the first-floor garage of the apartment complex. The body had been concealed in a way that had made it harder to spot. The officers were deeply saddened by this heartbreaking discovery.
Police in Santa Cruz, California have a 15-year-old boy under arrest in connection with the disappearance and apparent death of an 8-year-old girl.
However, the officers didn't disclose the specific reasons for the boy's arrest or reveal his identity at that moment. The situation was clearly uncertain, leaving the community seeking answers and hoping for clarity after the devastating turn of events. The only clue available was footage of the arrested boy's mother expressing distress as he was taken into custody for questioning. Many details, such as the cause of Maddy's death and the reasons behind it, remained unknown. During a press conference at 11 a.m. on July 28th, Police Chief Kevin Vogel provided further details to reporters.
Approximately 7:55 p.m., a Santa Cruz police detective conducted a secondary and more thorough canvass of the complex, which included the search of a recycle bin located in an enclosure on the first-floor parking structure at the Tannery Arts Center complex. Maddy's body was located within that recycle bin. I will merely say that Maddy's body was concealed in a recycle bin in a way that was not obvious or readily apparent. There was a 15-year-old male juvenile who resides in an apartment on the property upstairs from the location where Maddy's body was found, and he was nearby when Maddy was located. He was subsequently taken into custody, where he was brought back to the Santa Cruz Police Department and interviewed. Investigators from the Santa Cruz Police Department interviewed this individual into the early morning hours this morning, and he was subsequently arrested for the murder of Madyson Middleton. Additionally, investigators have located evidence that links the suspect to this horrific crime. It appears that she was lured to the suspect's apartment willingly. Additionally, we've determined that Maddy was murdered inside of the suspect's apartment.
On that very evening following the press conference, a candlelight vigil drew together several hundred individuals who gathered to honor the memory of Maddy. Maddy's mother also requested a special Howl for Maddy event, where participants were encouraged to howl at the moon. This was a tribute to Maddy's fondness for wolves. The event resonated deeply, with people sharing their moments of remembrance through pictures and videos on social media. Following the tragic homicide, leaders of Santa Cruz City schools took proactive measures and offered advice to parents on how to guide their children through the difficult aftermath. They encouraged parents to help their children comprehend the circumstances surrounding Maddy's death and intervene if there were any misconceptions or false perceptions about the cause of the event. The main objective was to ensure that the children did not blame themselves or others for the heartbreaking situation. For as long as it could, age protected the identity of the teenager responsible for Maddy's death. But this all changed when Santa Cruz County District Attorney Jeff Roselle issued a statement. He stated that they had enough evidence against him and would charge the teenager as an adult, not only for first-degree murder, but also for kidnapping and other offenses.
The law allows, under certain circumstances, with certain types of offenses, a determination as to whether or not you want to charge someone as an adult or whether or not they're charged as a juvenile. Based on the information that we know at this point, there do appear to be charges that can be filed as an adult, and we are absolutely considering that. And these are the type of charges and the type of offenses that are and can be charged as.
And with that, his name was released. The teenager responsible was revealed to be Adrian Jerry A.J. Gonzalez. He resided with his mother, Reggie DeMalig Factor, in the Tannery Arts Center, and this made him Maddy's neighbor. He was the only child of Reggie Factor and Abraham Lomai Gonzalez. Adrian's childhood wasn't the easiest. He was born in October 1999 at Sutter Maternity and Surgery Center in Santa Cruz as Adrian Jerry Gonzalez, according to his birth certificate obtained by the Sentinel. People close to the family described Adrian's upbringing as being shattered by divorce and frequent lack of money, employment, and housing. When Adrian was not yet 2 years old, Abraham Gonzalez was arrested on suspicion of felony assault with a deadly weapon and misdemeanor battery in a relationship. He was convicted only of the latter charge and sentenced to 3 years on probation, according to court records. Laura struggled to find work for quite some time, leaving her and Adrian relying on food stamps. Eventually, she managed to get a job at a healthcare center in Live Oak, where she worked for many years, as shared by Linda Jovich. Around 2008, Laura found employment at a Dollar Tree store on East Cliff Drive near 14th Avenue in Live Oak. The store offered discounted food, toys, party supplies, and other items, and she worked as a cashier, stocked shelves, handled deliveries, and even performed restroom cleaning duties. However, her work environment turned unpleasant when her boss made unwelcome, inappropriate advances, forcibly touched her, and coerced her into engaging in unwanted activity with promises of preferential treatment. Subsequently, Jovish filed a harassment lawsuit on behalf of Laura, which was later settled out of court in May 2013 for an undisclosed sum. Following her departure from the Dollar Tree job, Laura faced financial difficulties leading to homelessness. She and Adrian sought temporary accommodation with friends and eventually found residence at the Homeless Services Center on Coral Street in Santa Cruz. Seeking more stable living conditions, they later moved to the Tannery Arts Center, where he grew up with the other kids, including Maddy. In a courtroom on April 27, 2021, Laura told Adrian of the pain he caused, reminding him how he and Maddy grew up together as children of the tannery and attended a birthday party in the same apartment where he would later kill Maddy. It was a shock to the community upon learning that Adrian could be capable of such an act, particularly in regard to a little girl like Maddy. In the beginning, some neighbors speculated that the incident might have been an unfortunate accident, possibly stemming from a childish game gone horribly wrong. They believed that Adrian, frightened by the situation, attempted to conceal the scene. Such beliefs were not unfounded, as to most people, Adrian appeared to be a typical teenager. In the area, Adrian was known for his impressive skills with a yo-yo, and he had even worked as a counselor at the tannery. He was also a freshman at Santa Cruz High School.
He's just like a normal kid. Like, he hangs out on the levee with other normal kids and plays with his yo-yo all day long. Like, I haven't, he doesn't really strike any chords as being a baby killer.
His actions seemed far removed from anything that could connect him to such a terrible crime. One neighbor shared their fondness for Adrian, stating that they loved him and considered him an outstanding kid, even describing him as their poster child. The collective disbelief within the community further highlighted the stark contrast between the image they held of Adrian and the disturbing reality of his involvement in Maddy's tragic death. However, social media posts indicated that Adrian was a deeply troubled young man who might have been grappling with depression. An examination of his now disabled Instagram account revealed signs of his inner turmoil. In the weeks preceding Maddy's death, Adrian posted a series of cryptic messages on his account, hinting at the struggles he was facing. According to reports, he expressed feelings of anxiety and insecurity. In one post, he wrote, "Wears all black to try and look powerful and hide the crippling anxiety." The last post made on Adrian's Instagram page was on Monday, July 27, 2015. This was the day Maddy's body was discovered. The post featured a video of what appeared to be his fingers playing the song Mad World by Tears for Fears on a keyboard. The accompanying caption contained lyrics from the song's refrain, "The dreams in which I'm dying are the best I ever had." Interestingly, the song was well known for its inclusion in the 2001 cult classic film Donnie Darko, which tells the story of a troubled teenager haunted by visions of a giant rabbit that influences him to commit crimes. What makes the timing of this Instagram post particularly chilling is that it occurred while hundreds of volunteers were outside his apartment, desperately searching for any sign of Maddy. The post and the others found on the page raised concerns about Adrian's state of mind and added to the gravity of the situation. Katie Carroll, a friend of Adrian from middle school, provided some valuable insights about him. She described him as kind of an introvert who was struggling with deep depression when they were friends 2 years before the incident occurred. Katie recalled a distressing incident from back when Adrian had called her late at night and threatened to jump off the roof of his building. In response, Katie and her mother attempted to get him the help he needed by urging him to seek therapy. However, the friendship between Katie and Adrian eventually broke off due to his constant talk of taking his own life. Katie revealed that despite this, she never witnessed any self-harming behavior from him. After the friendship ended, Adrian became preoccupied with Katie and another friend who had also distanced herself from him. Despite his fixation, Katie clarified that she never felt directly threatened by him. Following the news of what had happened to Adrian, Katie revealed that she revisited her old Facebook messages with him and came across some unsettling messages. One message said, "I'll be gone eventually," while another contained the cryptic statement, "Something big will happen in high school." Following Adrian's arrest, more details about what really happened on the day he took Maddy's life came to light. During his interview with the police, the teenager confessed to luring Maddy to his apartment by offering her ice cream. He proceeded to tie her up and subjected her to a vicious assault. Following this, he disposed of her body in the bin located in the parking garage downstairs. Further revelations shed light on Adrian's behavior during the subsequent search for Maddy. Astonishingly, Adrian was among the many volunteers who actively participated in the search efforts. A neighbor disclosed to the media that Adrian persistently pestered him with questions about the progress of the search for Maddy's body. Additionally, he repeatedly approached the police, inquiring about the advancement of the case while they were still in the process of locating her. Even more shocking was Adrian's motive behind the crime. He revealed that he'd been contemplating taking his own life and decided to carry out the terrible act to observe how people would react to his actions by taking the life of an innocent girl. His obsession about the case subsequently led to his arrest. Apparently, on the day Maddy's body was found, Adrian was watching them intently as they were searching the bins, and the second the officers realized that Maddy was in there, he started to run, despite the fact that he wouldn't have been able to even see what they'd found. On July 30th, 2015, Adrian made his initial appearance in court. He faced charges of kidnapping, murder, and assault. Dressed in a green t-shirt and khaki pants at Juvenile Hall, he presented a solemn demeanor and softly said yes when asked if he'd waive his right to a speedy trial. However, he refrained from entering a plea on that day. To represent him in the legal proceedings, Adrian was appointed public defenders Larry Bigham and Leela Sayer. In the following months, Adrian's legal process gained momentum. County prosecutors successfully filed for his transfer to adult court. In August 2017, a hearing commenced to determine whether Adrian would be tried in juvenile or adult court. October 24, 2017, which was the final day of the transfer hearing, marked the moment when Adrian's fate was determined. Santa Cruz County Superior Court Judge John Salazar, presiding over the hearing, summarized the testimony of various doctors and psychiatric professionals who had been called throughout the case. Their testimonies ranged from Adrian suffering from depression to being characterized as a sociopath lacking empathy. Ultimately, Judge Salazar delivered his judgment, describing the acts committed as cruel, callous, and calculated. Based on his assessment, he deemed Adrian unfit for the juvenile courts, which were designed to rehabilitate young offenders before they reached the age of 23. Salazar cited 3 legal elements to support his decision. Adrian's level of sophistication, which multiple teachers attested to, stating that he was intelligent and observant, the insufficient time available for rehabilitation within the juvenile system, and the gravity and circumstances of the crime, which warranted trial in adult courts. As Judge Salazar issued the order, emotions ran high among Maddy's relatives and supporters who cried out in relief. The overwhelming feeling of joy was evident as they embraced the outcome of the hearing.
In a prepared statement, the judge read the evidence, the mental experts, and police testimony, and in the end, the judge ruled Adrian Gonzalez will be tried in adult court. He was immediately moved to the main jail while he awaits trial. Santa Cruz County Superior Court Judge John Salazar said AJ's lack of remorse and calm demeanor immediately after the killing of 8-year-old Maddie Middleton was the most heinous he has ever seen in more than 27 years on the bench. Maddy's mother and grandfather sat through 9 weeks of disturbing testimony and were satisfied with the judge's ruling.
It was agonizing to listen to the testimony, to see the medical examiner crying on the stand. I mean, these were very stressful.
I feel very bad for the jury that's going to have to look at all those awful photographs of what he did to my daughter. We were spared the photographs this time. We heard the details. The jury's going to have to see it all, and you can't unsee things.
After the judge's ruling, Larry Bigham expressed his disappointment to the media and revealed their plan to appeal the decision. With Adrian's case now proceeding as an adult trial, the implications were significant. If found guilty, he'd face life imprisonment without the possibility of parole. Immediately following the ruling, Adrian was transferred from Juvenile Hall to Santa Cruz County Jail. His bail was set at $5 million. In May 2018, during the adult proceedings linked to Maddy's murder, Adrian entered a plea of not guilty. During that same year, another distressing incident occurred involving Maddy. Her father, Mike, kept her ashes in a ceramic urn inside his car. Unfortunately, a car thief broke in and stole the urn. To this day, Maddy's ashes have not been returned. In 2019, the state Senate passed SB 1391, a law preventing children 15 or younger from being transferred to adult court. However, Santa Cruz Judge John Salazar later ruled the law unconstitutional. Adrian's defense attorneys appealed this decision to the state Supreme Court, hoping that if the court found SB 1391 constitutional, Adrian could be sent back to the juvenile system. Maddy's mother, Laura, criticized the law, considering it ridiculous. After subsequent legal challenges, the state Supreme Court finally upheld SB 1391's constitutionality in a ruling issued in February 2013. Subsequently, Judge Salazar had no choice but to remove the case from the adult court system. This ruling marked a significant development in Adrian's legal proceedings and its potential impact on his sentencing. In April 2021, Adrian's case was transferred to the juvenile court system, and he immediately pleaded guilty to all the charges against him. On April 27, 2021, during his sentencing, Maddy's father, Mike Middleton, spoke, expressing the tremendous loss he felt. He acknowledged accepting the loss, but emphasized that it did not make the pain any easier. It only allowed him to find some semblance of peace. Maddy's mother, Laura, took the opportunity to play a near 4-minute video recorded by Maddy herself, giving a tour of the Tannery Arts Center where they lived. While the video played, Adrian averted his eyes from the screen. Following this, Adrian also spoke. He expressed that he had no intention of exacerbating the pain with his words. He said he recognized the suffering he'd caused and expressed his commitment to working on his issues to prevent anyone else from experiencing such tragedy. Adrian hoped that through time and his apology, Maddy's family might find it in their hearts to forgive him for what he'd done. After all these, Adrian received a sentence, which involved being sent to a state division of juvenile justice facility. There, he may be eligible for release in as early as 3.5 years. However, his maximum term of confinement extends until he turns 25. In addition to the time served, Adrian is required to register as an offender for life and pay $22,000 in restitution fees. In response to the sentencing, Mike, Maddy's father, conveyed his disappointment, stating that Adrian did not show enough remorse during the hearing. It didn't sound sincere. It sounded staged, coached, and I can imagine why, he said. I hope that he never has the opportunity to do anything like this again. That's what needs to happen. Lisa Jordan, Maddy's grandmother, called the sentencing a joke, expressing her frustration. He'll be in jail for a while, and then they'll let him go. He gets to walk. And when he does it again, maybe then they'll take it seriously, Lisa said. From what we know at the moment, when Adrian turns 25, there'll be no guarantee that he'll be released from the juvenile justice system. The court can be petitioned to extend his time in custody, which might offer some relief for Maddy's family. However, the hurt he caused will undoubtedly remain in their hearts forever. As we come to the end of Maddy's case, we can't help but feel the profound sadness and loss experienced by her family and the community. As we reflect on Adrian's actions, one question lingers in our minds. Did the authorities make the right decision in handling Adrian's case, considering the gravity of his actions? And more importantly, what can be done to reform and improve the juvenile justice system so as to ensure that it effectively addresses cases involving serious crimes committed by young individuals? Share your thoughts in the comments section below.